I think of all the All-Star games and All-Star midseason, events, celebrations, if you will, of all the 4 major sports and probably the rest of them, I think Major League Baseball has the best of the best. And that's including the skills competition, which would be the home run derby the day before, but then the All-Star game itself, because it's guys actually competing at a super high level. They're playing, I would say besides, of course, the guys probably like loafing it down the line on a ground ball, which no one cares about. Pitchers are still throwing 104, 103. Guys are still trying to hit home runs, and they do. And so seeing the best of the best match up and actually try to best each other, the only part of the MLB All-Star game where they don't, I would say, give their all is when they hit a routine ground ball. And it's like, again, same thing as every other sport or every other game.
They don't do that. They don't give their all in a fucking regular season
on a ground ball. Yeah, exactly.
On a routine ground ball. So
yeah, I get it.
It's called big league game. We've always been hey, you can't maybe when you make it to the big leagues you can run like that. Remember,
and then they do. Yeah. Exactly.
Someone's dad's on your ass. Yeah, no, and like Emmanuel Clase finished that game out with like a 99 mile per hour fastball up and in.
Well, how about
he was there to kill.
Yeah, and how about in the second or his second at bat, Manny Machado, maybe it was his first at bat. Yeah, I think it was his first at bat. He fucking rips one up the middle. Andres Gimenez backhands it at second base, flips behind the back, to get the lead out at second base. I know that's kind of fun show, whatever, too, but it's he wasn't oh, fuck, I can't get there. Oh, I'm just going to let this ball get up the middle. He went after it, lunged for it, made the catch, flipped it behind his back. They turned a double play. It wasn't they're just good with getting one out. They are trying their hardest for the most part. The outfielders aren't going to go see a ball in the gap and be like, oh, fuck, that's down. No, they run over to it and they catch it. So, I think the All-Star game in baseball is the best. I also think it was better. It's better than the rest as well because of the things that they were able to integrate in the recent past and especially yesterday. Having multiple pitchers mic'd up while they're pitching,
that was sick.
Talking to the broadcast, having multiple guys mic'd up, talking to John Smoltz and the guys in the booth.
Manoah, Alek Manoah is my favorite. He struck out the side.
Dude, he was sick. It was so cool.
He was sick, and he was talking about his pitches. Let's try to hit a sinker here, and then he executes it. He's like, let's go front hip sinker here.
And then he throws it.
That was more like front shoulder.
Right, and then
yeah, that lets you know how fucking good those guys are because there's probably a lot of fans out there that are they're just throwing it up there. It's these guys have a fucking game plan on every single pitch.
100%.
They're playing a chess match with the batter, and they're calling it out before they do it.
Right. And anybody who's been an athlete at any level, it doesn't have to be just baseball, but anybody who's been an athlete remembers a lot about when they were playing, they had a thought process going through, whether it was basketball, coming up the court with the ball, and football, reading the play, looking at the other side of the ball and the defense or the offense. And baseball, it's as a hitter, you have an idea, what are you going to do when what counts you get into, what pitches you're sitting on. Happened 2 years ago in Cleveland. They gave Freddie Freeman the microphone against Justin Verlander. And I think when he was up there, he took the first pitch. He's I think he's going to go first pitch curveball. And then he throws a fastball. He's that's surprising. Okay, well, if he went curveball, he could go back to it, but I think he's going to go try to show off the heater. This is what's actually going on in their heads. This is what they're thinking. They just don't obviously talk it out loud in a game that actually means something. I just think MLB, I think the All-Star broadcast and the All-Star game itself is the best of the best, and especially the most recent broadcast from Dodger Stadium with the pitchers mic'd up and the players and everything else that went on. I think they absolutely nailed it, and I think every other league should look towards Major League Baseball to see how they can find a way to integrate talking to the players during the broadcast and honoring different people before the game.